Hey, y'all. Freestyling some bars. Let me know if the audio sounds okay to y'all. As far as the levels, my voice compared to the music or anything like that. I'm having some technical sort of deals here. Let me see about this. Where is there's so many audio things here. OBS I would not recommend, guys. I mean, I would, but I wouldn't. It's just very technical and buggy. Josh, but yes, I appreciate the comment. I like to make spiritual art too, but as far as getting raw views, it's kind of a different ballgame here on Instagram, isn't it? As far as what people want to consume, the masses, that is. If it were up to me, I'd just be posting like really trippy fractal art and stuff like that, but somewhere along the way I turned this into a business, and so I gotta kind of depend on the views to a degree. Kind of is the situation that I am in for now. But I'm chilling. I still enjoy what I make. Let me see though, how do I do this, dude? Audio input capture. No, that's macOS audio capture. What the hell, dude? Okay, desktop audio, application audio. Oh my god. Oh, there's so many things to keep track of here in OBS. It's so overwhelming. All I want to do is make stuff for y'all, but I'm having so many technical difficulties this week. I don't know what it is with my streaming software. It's just like taking a dump. macOS audio capture. Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, that should be good for now, but every couple of minutes I'm gonna have to update OBS because it freezes. Yeah, it is. Wondering how to shift my approach. I love the trippy fractal art, the animate diff stuff you're doing. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's definitely some of my more favorite work is the animate diff stuff. I really enjoy works like that. And I've been thinking of maybe getting back into it as well, just more so than I have lately. Who's my favorite artist in the field? That's a really tough question, honestly. I have multiple favorites for different reasons. It's hard to pick out like an overall favorite. Hang tight, guys. Oh, this is not tracking. There it goes. Okay, that's better. That makes more sense. Okay. All right, so what do I kind of want to do today? I kind of want to make something trippy and psychedelic, honestly. Maybe a fusion of some of the stuff I have been doing with something more abstract. Like maybe, for example, we'll just take this guy as a screenshot and we'll fuse it together with some other weirdness, shall we? So let's come over to images on free pick. Drag that in. Once again, update the, okay, that looks fine for now, okay. I am drifting mentally, you guys. I have so much on my mind. For one thing, I just want the software to work correctly. So the issue I'm dealing with, just like not to bore your ears off, is that OBS keeps, my streaming software keeps, every like 2 or 3 minutes, it'll just, my screen cap will freeze on like whatever frame it was on at the time, which means you won't see what I'm doing. And so I have to manually come back every 2 or 3 minutes and just like reset this screen cap thingamajig. And in that way, I'm able to keep streaming for y'all, but it's just like a really weird bug that I can't seem to figure out. But we're kind of just gonna wing it, you know? So let's go to Midjourney. Let's find something fascinating. I'm just gonna start with fractals because why not? I'm feeling a little trippy today. And let's try and combine a few disparate styles, shall we? We'll probably take that. Okay, we'll paste that in as well as our chicken hybrid guy. And we're just gonna mash these two together, just for starters, just to see what we get. And we'll work from there. Let's see what we get. And guys, if you have any desire to watch this on a larger screen, feel free to check out my Twitch or my YouTube down in the links below right there to watch this in a bigger format, if that's your style. But I'm happy to have you here on Instagram regardless. Look at that, that's so weird. It's kind of cool looking in its own right. But what I really want is like a actual fusion of the elements, and maybe I'll prompt for that. So really combine the structural components of both of these images in a really grotesque way. As if they're two realities chaotically merged. Let's try that out. Hey. This one's pretty interesting. I love how realistic the textures look. Like it just looks texturally real. But it's not quite what we want. Ooh, interesting. That's kind of cool. Ooh, that's cool too. Whoa, I like that. That's weird. I like that. Oh, you guys can't see what I see, can you? God damn it. Okay, restart capture. Very cool, OBS, thank you. Okay, Jesus Christ. So, we are back. Yeah, no, sorry about that, Josh. I don't know what the hell's going on. Honestly, I might just sign up for something like Restream.io, which kind of just in-houses everything for you at the gate. It's a little pricey for my taste, whereas OBS is like pretty much free. But at this rate, I don't really know what I'm going to end up doing. But I'll try and keep a close eye on the stream to make sure it doesn't happen too often. But anyways, guys, this is pretty dope. I really like what we have here. I do want to animate it. Let's see what happens if we go ahead and with animating this weird thing. First, I'm going to bring it into Midjourney so that we can bring it up to 9:16 aspect ratio, best for social media. We'll come to edit, we'll drag it in, we'll go to resize, and we'll do 9:16. And we'll type a weird chicken in a zoo enclosure. We'll let it rip. And then once that's in place, we'll animate it using Minimax version 2.3, which is honestly one of the best image to video models currently on the market, in my opinion. It's really an amazing type of thing. Okay, so this is not quite what I don't know. This is fine, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just take what we have here. So we're going to use that. Drag that on in. And we're not even going to prompt it. We're just going to kind of let it do what it feels like doing. So we'll do a couple variants. We'll hit submit. Pretty cheap too, only 50 credits for 2 versions, which is something like, I think it breaks down to like a penny per credit or something to that effect. So I think it's like 50 cents for these 2 videos, which is very good, honestly. I may be a little off on that calculation, but it's kind of more or less around there. Let me like kind of make for sure. So like if I were to buy more credits, for example, where can I do that? What do you buy new credits? What is this? Come on. All right. That's weird. Where's the purchase credits stuff? Learn more maybe? Oh, here we go. Okay. So 500 credits is $5. Okay, so yeah, it's basically a penny per credit, isn't it? Because 500 cents and $5, so. Hey guys, hey Travis, hey Hewad, how's it going, guys? Has the stream frozen again? I think it has, hasn't it? Very fun. Okay, we'll restart that. We'll restart this. There we go. I may just reinstall OBS altogether. But let's kind of have some more fun as well, shall we? Maybe what I will do is I will... Ooh, I like that. Let's come to Magnific, and let's restyle our chicken altogether using... Oh, that's brutal. Using the fractal design that we have obtained. So we'll come back to this, use that as our input. Actually, yeah, here we go. Input, and then style reference, we will do the fractal. And we're also going to borrow the prompt that created this fractal in the first place. It's not the best prompt, but it'll do. Paste that on in, hit generate. And let's check in on the comments on YouTube and Twitch, shall we? Nothing really just yet, that's okay. Hello to all of my Twitch and YouTube viewers. I'm happy to have you. Feel free to ask me a question, just ask whatever really, or just chit chat. But yeah. let's come back to Minimax, see what we got with our videos. Ooh, that's pretty dope. So like it definitely had enough context to see that there's like lightning intervening the creature. So it kind of gave it a lightning flickering effect. Very cool. Let's see how this one came out though. Pretty much the same. But let's prompt it specifically. Let's say handheld smartphone footage of a weird animal in a zoo enclosure walking around and acting erratically. Let's do that. And by the way, you guys, in case you haven't noticed by the big text that's over my body right now, as well as those videos on the left, I do have a new course out that I just released last week about how to best prompt and use Sora 2, as well as how to access it. If you're not in the US or Canada, there are various ways to access it still, and just how to go viral with it. Kind of an examination of viral videos made with Sora, both my own videos as well as others, how to kind of understand why they went viral and how to do ones that are similar but without outright stealing, you know? So I think it's a pretty wide-ranging course. It covers a lot of interesting topics, and I'm just really happy with it. I think it's going to help a lot of folks. And if you're so inclined, the link for it is in my bio. It's the first link right at the top there. And yeah, just super thrilled to be sharing that with you all. So just figured I would add a little plug in. Oh man, look at that. That's trippy. Whoops. Let's make sure this is still streaming. Okay. Pretty cool. Hey. All right, I'm zoning out yet again. Sorry guys, I'm having a weird day. I'm kind of just zoning. But I will try and stay focused for y'all. And yeah. Honestly, maybe I'll run a few of these and just upload like a carousel to Instagram of various chickens with weird textures. So let's like click recreate on this. Gonna use the same prompt. However, instead of that purple fractal, I'm gonna upload a different type of image. In fact, maybe we'll do this one, for example, and we'll just run a few through and see what we get. We'll do that. And we'll just choose a few. Let's just do a few. That's fine. All right. So back on Magnific. Not overly thrilled with the results, to be honest. I kind of like this picture, this weird face. How is about we take that and use that as our style reference? That's going to be shocking. So we'll drag that in for style. We'll kill the prompt altogether. No prompt needed, I think. And let's just run that and see what we get. So again, it's going to be this chicken with the style of this awful, bizarre face. Because why not? Ooh, these are kind of dope. Hey, check that out. That's sick. I like that. Interdimensional chicken. And once again, the screen cap is frozen. Let's restart that. Alrighty. That's better. Yeah, check that out. That's dope. I like that a lot. And this one's cool too. Emerging from the interdimensional laces. This is so cool. I almost want to upscale it and animate it and do something weird with it. Maybe I will. Actually, first what I want to do is I want to start doing 9x16 for these because I want to be able to upload these to Instagram later. And 9x16 is best for social. I know, right, Josh? It's pretty sick. Anyone take me Saturday? What are you talking about? Oh, that's weird too. Look at that shit. That's so weird. I love it. Chimera number 7. Chimera number 7. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm gonna have Grok animate this. This would be really cool with Grok Animate. Grok Imagine, as it's called. You guys still seeing what I see? Yes, it looks like you are. Okay, so we'll do this because that's really dope. We're gonna upload it and just let Grok do what it's gonna do. We're not gonna prompt it. Just gonna let it imagine. And if we don't like the results, then we'll prompt it manually. All right. And so let's come back to, I guess, Magnific. Oh man, look at this. What the hell? That's just strange. That's really weird. Very, very odd. Ooh, sick. That's so cool. That's dope. Oh boy. Okay. How about we play with this one too? The model I'm using, geez, I can't talk. By the way, guys, the model that I'm using, I'm like dyslexic or something, is called Seedream 4. It's a really powerful image editing model, and it can be accessed from many different places. The place I choose to access it from is from this site called freepik.com. Freepik.com gives you access to a lot of leading cutting edge AI models, both for video and image creation and editing and all of that. And it's just a lot of fun to make really wacky things like this, things that are just crazy to look at, frankly. Let's come back now to Grok, see what we got. That's pretty cool. Very strange. How's about, so I'll save that. I do like it, but let's like, actually, let's upscale this real quick. And by the way, you guys, if you do buy the course, it would really, really help me if you could leave a rating on the course. Preferably a higher rating. I hope I could earn that rating from you, but just if you can give me like a 5-star, honestly, would be amazing. And I don't know. I'm kind of dealing with some, I'll just say it. I got like a 1-star earlier today. I don't know who it was from, but because the course is so new and just released, it did kind of throw off the rating a little bit, which is pretty painful because I worked really hard on the course. So if you can, it would literally mean the world to me to just, you know, pick up the course, leave a good rating. Feedback as well would be really, really appreciated. It would really go a long way towards making this whole thing work, because I really just want to help people with this information. And obviously no pressure to pick up the course either way, but yeah, the more 5 stars that I can get onto the course to hopefully dilute that 1 star, the better. you know, whoever left that review, I feel bad if they didn't enjoy the product, but they didn't leave any feedback, so I don't really know what the how to remedy the issue. But if anybody is unhappy with the course or anything, just please reach out. Let me know how I can make it better, how I can improve it, how I can improve your experience with it. So yeah, just figured I would put that out there. It's kind of an embarrassing thing to admit, but you know, I did work really hard on the course, and I'm going to keep adding to it over time as well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So, okay. So anyways, let's get back to the fun stuff. Let's prompt this a little differently. I want those fractals to be actually fractaling. So a chicken with actively spiraling fractals moves erratically around the enclosure as if to evade the fractal storm. I don't know. Okay, so we got that in rotation. Let's also run it through Minimax as well. Couldn't hurt, right? So we'll come back to our image that we have. I think it was this one, yes. And we'll just do the same prompt here. Chicken with actively spiraling fractals moves erratically around the enclosure as if to evade the fractal storm. Hello, what program is it? Hey, how's it going, Felipe? Hang on one sec, I'll answer your question in just a second. Give me just a quick second here. So the program that you see here, I'm in the browser right now. I'm in Google Chrome. I'm just basically using different websites to create what I create. And this website right here is called hillooai.video. It's a really weird spelling. All you would need to do to find it is just Google the word Minimax, M-I-N-I-M-A-X, and then it should come up for you right here because the model that I'm using is called Minimax. But yeah, just scroll down a bit, actually. What is minimax.io? I don't even know what that is. Interesting. I don't even have any clue what this is. It might be the same thing. But in any regard, this is the link right here, Minimax Hilloo 23. Oh, it's not. That's weird, dog. I don't know, just search for Minimax. I'm not gonna go too deep into how to find it. I'm sorry, I'm kind of burned out right now. But the other tools I'm using is this upscaler called magnific.ai, and it's really good for not only upscaling images, but also restyling them as well. As you can see right here, I'm restyling this chicken with weird different textures and whatnot. And then of course, the one that I use pretty much every day is this one called FreePic, which I use for image generation, videos, things like that. Cheers from Chile. Nice. Nice. Never been to Chile. Very cool, though. All right, let's see what Minimax was able to get for us. Whoa. Trippy. Okay, let's see how this one turned out. Cool. Very trippy. And let's come back to Grok and see what Grok gave us. Oh yeah, Grok is really good. I love what Grok does. Look how cool that is. It's fascinating. You're welcome, Felipe, definitely. Give me 1 second, guys. Hey Bennett, are you AI? No, I'm not AI. Josh says, how's Grok Video Gens been compared to others? In my opinion, it's a really good model for a lot of different things. Hang on one second. Let me switch my screen a bit on my phone here just to see what y'all are saying. It's been really good. Like, I mean, as you can see right here, and I did have to prompt it to get this result, but a lot of the time, Grok is probably one of the best at like inferring what the creator wants to happen in the video, and usually gives you a pretty compelling result just without a prompt. So I think that's one of its strengths for sure. It's also very good at upscaling. Hang on one second. Oh, shit. Boy, gotta restart this, Okay, we're back. Yeah, so it's really good at making unprompted results that are pretty nice to look at usually. And it upscales very quickly, it renders very quickly. It's just all around quite good. What is some of its weaknesses though? Honestly, it doesn't have that many weaknesses. It's kind of weak on like feature set. You can't do a lot with like video. You can't do any video to video stuff or stuff that Sora is capable of. The built-in sound design is not that great. So it has a ways to go, but where it's currently at, I would say it's actually quite good. All due respect, but this is like 2 months of non-gabagool AI content. Frankly, I'm depressed and ashamed. Do you want me to do more like weird meat creatures and stuff? I could get back into that. I've been kind of like dipping my toes back into those waters lately. Hey Bennett, is AI a chance or a risk for humanity? That's a great question, Martin. I think AI is both. I think it offers both a chance and a risk. It's an existential threat as well as a savior of some kind, as far as like, I don't even know. It remains to be seen, but you know, I can envision like a utopian type of future as long as people are taken care of enough and the resources are not depleted. It's a tough one. I'm not like the expert on any of that, but it's something I do think of often. Like obviously it's going to take a lot of jobs in the short and medium term of its ascension, I guess you could say, but the question is, what good is efficiency if nobody has a job? You know, like if we can be well enough taken care of, then like that's one thing, but we're gonna have to have some serious discussions about like what the implications of all these things are. Okay, so we're back here. Thank you, love your videos. Oh, thank you, Martin. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I really do. So, how's about we, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna come to back to the Comfy UI Cloud and play around with a workflow I've been having fun with. Let's make sure this is still streaming. Yep, okay. And well, let's just go ahead and play around a bit. Let's play with some combinations here inside of Comfy. Okay. So let's take our chicken image we have here. Honestly, let's just combine it with this. I don't even know what the hell's gonna happen, but let me just see what happens if I combine A and B right here. Let's see what we get. All right. I think the hardest part about streaming is honestly finding things to talk about the entire time, because sometimes my brain just like short circuits and I run out of things to fucking talk about. I do like hanging out with y'all. I just sometimes I trail off mentally. Call it ADD if you want. I don't know what it is, but we are working on something. This is currently generating something for us. So we're not totally wasting time, are we? Ooh, this is going to be weird. I can already tell. Cozy to be around. Good, good. Well, thank you for that, Shira. All right, so what I'm using right now it's a program called Comfy UI, and it looks like it's frozen again. Let me restart it. Oh, geez, okay. So this program is called Comfy UI, which is traditionally a program that you download and install on your computer, but just recently they finally released a cloud version, which means you can use it entirely in the browser and offload the whole like computationally intensive stuff to another computer thousands of miles away. And so for that reason, you're now able to access Comfy from a pretty modest computer, be it like a MacBook or just anything that isn't innately built to run really intense rendering. Oh my God, look at this. Whoa. That's trippy as hell. That's so cool. Look how cool that turned out. It's so weird. I love it. I'm really scared of Comfy. It's a puzzle. Yes, I know. It definitely can be very puzzling. And for a long time it was for me, but you know, eventually I just wanted to learn it so badly. I wanted to do what it was capable of doing so badly that I just bit the bullet and started just forcing myself to be immersed in it and learn the ins and outs. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. So, you know, you're allowed to be scared of things, but I would encourage you to definitely jump into things more, especially the things that you're scared of, because I think you're a lot smarter than you might realize. I didn't think I'd be smart enough to learn how to do some of this Comfy UI stuff. I'm just like an artist who likes to make weird art, but when it comes to technical stuff, I do get a little scared, but I really proved to myself what I was capable of when I taught myself how to do this, and I think a lot of other people could do the same. So just, yeah, find joy in the challenge. I've wanted to learn Comfy for the fractal diff stuff, but it intimidates me. Yep, I was definitely intimidated by it as well. And I can see why, you know, like as I zoom out here, there's so much to unpack. But the more that you use it, the more you start to understand that a lot of these workflows have very similar structures from start to finish. Like there's a lot of really common things between them that you start to just recognize more and more over time, such as basically everything starts from the loading the model stage. You know, every workflow needs you to start by loading a model, as well as like sometimes a LoRa, which is kind of its own can of worms. But you know, it's more or less just you load the model, you load the positive and negative prompts. Basically, the positive is what you do want it to be, the negative is what you don't want it to be, what you want to leave out of the results. And you have to have a model that actually interprets that text as well. That's called a clip. You would load that in. And then a few other things take place between then and the final result. But the major step, right before you get this final result, takes place in a little thing called the K-sampler, which in the simplest of terms is kind of where all the action happens. It's where the actual rendering takes place behind the scenes of Comfy UI. And these are all the different settings that kind of adjust the end results of that product. But yeah, this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of your workflow right here. And once that actually renders out fully, you are left with a video to see. So, I mean, that's the most simplest breakdown I can possibly come up with. But I imagine I imagine there are some preset workflows out there to save. 100%, Josh. Yes, there are definitely preset workflows. And now this wasn't always the case. Back in the day, you really had to, in the wild west of Comfy UI, you kind of had to track down your own workflows. But these days, if you install the latest version, and let's make sure it's still tracking, Comfy UI has templates built right in. You would just come up here and click Browse Templates, and you get a whole bunch of pre-builts just to work from right out the gate. Now you will need to, it's not totally right out of the gate, like you will need to, and if I could just show you, if I open a new one right here, it's gonna ask me to, oh, it's not actually. Well, typically it will say you need to install new models in order to use it, but it typically like gives you the download links that are associated with that. So it's a lot more streamlined than it used to be, but it's still not perfect. It's still not as easy as something like Sora or Kling, but it's getting better at user experience type of stuff. It's definitely still a rabbit hole though, and it's not an overnight type of thing. But I would greatly encourage anybody who has more than a passing interest in this stuff to learn Comfy UI and to take it seriously, because just look at what it's capable of. Like, look how dope this is. This was simply by me combining an image and a video to arrive at a totally weird and unique result. It's not streaming. Restart capture, okay. Yeah, basically. Oh boy. Do the models have to be local? Not in the case of Comfy Cloud, which is what I'm currently using, something called Comfy in the Cloud. It can be accessed at cloud.comfy.org. And this is a very new release. They actually just launched it, I think, earlier this week. But for the first time now, well, not technically the first time, but for the first time officially through the Comfy UI, company, you can now access Comfy directly in the cloud, which means you don't have to use a local machine to run it. And so as far as like loading models and downloading them and all of that, you no longer need to download them locally. You can just have it deployed right here in the cloud very quickly, and it's very convenient. But yes, if you do install Comfy locally, which you can still do if you have a good enough computer to run it, then yes, you would download these models locally. You would put them in their respective folders. And the more that you work with Comfy, the more you start to memorize which folders they go into. It becomes pretty second nature, honestly, but there's definitely a bit of a learning curve in the beginning. I have Comfy Cloud Access, yeah, but I'd prefer to run it locally if I use it. Now I'm using N8N. Nice. Oh, N8N is awesome. I got to dig deeper into the N8N rabbit hole for sure. But yeah, if you prefer using it locally, you'll definitely have to learn the structure of the files and folders of Comfy UI. Generally speaking, to install any of these diffusion models, which is like the main type of model you're working with in Comfy, it's called a diffusion model. Typically that goes in Comfy UI /models/diffusion models. And most of what you're installing is going to be going in that models folder. And then the subfolders of those is like diffusion models, LoRa's, text encoders, VAE. Those are all of the subfolders you're going to need to worry about when installing models. But yeah, one of the great advantages here of Comfy Cloud is that you really don't have to worry about that. One of the disadvantages, of course, is that you're going to be tossed in a queue or a line of other people waiting to use the resources. So, it's not always instant access, which is kind of a bummer, but for convenience sake, it's pretty good. Comfy seems way more powerful, but on a MacBook Air, I don't think I can run. I would agree, yeah. If you're on a MacBook Air, you're not going to get a whole lot out of Comfy. You might be able to get some traction if you're just making images, especially like Stable Diffusion 1.5 SDXL style images. A MacBook Air is probably suited enough to do some of that work, but as far as making videos, you're not going to have a lot of fun running on a MacBook Air. I'm just going to tell you that. You're probably going to want to build a new machine or use something like Comfy in the Cloud, or use something like RunPod, which is something I've been using for several months now. RunPod.io is another great alternative to running Comfy in the Cloud. And it really unlike Comfy in the Cloud, this one gives you your pick of the flock as far as the type of computer you want to run on. You can rent like an H100, you can rent an RTX 6000, a 5090, and they're relatively cheap depending on which you choose. You could literally rent a 5090 for 89 cents per hour just to poke around in Comfy UI and experiment and stuff. So, and then from here you would like choose a Comfy UI template. They have many different types of templates, but the one you would want to choose is Comfy UI. And yeah, you would just come down here, click deploy on demand, and in a few minutes it would whip up a computer for you to play with for 89 cents an hour. So definitely, and if you're on a MacBook Air, this is a very viable option. You could be running a very powerful instance of Comfy UI just from your MacBook by renting it for a buck or two an hour. So definitely highly recommend a service like that if you're into Comfy. Hey, Natures, how's it going? I'm just chilling here today, showing off some Comfy UI stuff and other stuff. Let me make sure the stream is once again not frozen, which it is. Okay, I dream of a day when I don't have to fumble around in OBS every few minutes. I don't know what happened this week. My OBS just kind of took a different course. What is the name again, Pod? Yeah, the name of the service I just mentioned is called runpod.io. So like you're running, but like a pod, runpod.io. This is it right here. And it's really, really cool. I highly recommend it. It's definitely a lot more fleshed out than Comfy in the Cloud at the moment, but I do expect Comfy in the Cloud will get better over time. It's obviously just a fresh release, so they have a lot of time to build it up. But yeah, it's a positive trend, I think, for Comfy UI to see more cloud instances. I mean, obviously one of the great advantages and selling points of Comfy is the fact that it is local or can be run locally, and so it's truly open in that regard. It's like the holy grail of open source AI. So if your computer can handle it, I would still always recommend installing it locally first and foremost. But if you're on a budget and you don't have a great computer, this is your next best option. Faux show. I'm gonna download this video because it's really weird and cool. And in fact, what I will do, I'm gonna have some fun with this one actually. Now that we're on RunPod, I'm gonna launch a RunPod machine and we're going to upscale and restyle it using another Comfy UI workflow. It's gonna take a few minutes to build the machine, but once it's good, and we're gonna have some fun. So let's deploy on demand like so. How long have you been on, if I may? I have been live now almost an hour, I wanna say. About 50 minutes, yeah. We're going strong at 50 minutes. Haven't covered a whole lot, so you haven't missed like a ton, to be honest. I've kind of just been dilly-dallying around, mostly playing with OBS, figuring that out. But yeah, I've made stuff like you see here. We've been making some weird images on FreePic, like these weird fractal chickens. Really cool, actually. I really, really dig this. I actually want to see what Grok can do with something like this. Let's take that, and while our RunPod is whipping up our instance of Comfy, let's have some fun with some other stuff. Let's take this image, bring it over to Grok, and let's animate it. Let's see what it gives us. Actually, before I even do that, let's make it 9:16. Because with any of these things, I want to be potentially ready to upload them to Instagram. And so they need to be the right aspect ratio to do that. I mean, they don't have to be. You could upload any type of video you want to Instagram, but I think it's best to go for 9:16. So let's, what are we doing here? Come on. What is this interface? This is not the right interface for Midjourney. Okay, there we go. All right. Drag that there, resize. So on Midjourney, I'm basically using the editor feature to take existing images and changing their aspect ratio. We're just going to type fractals for our prompt. Dragon Raven, I'm very sorry that you're pissed. I hope whatever's happening, that your day gets better over time. I'm sorry though. What kind of machine do you use? Right now I'm running on a MacBook Pro, to be honest with you. But because a lot of these things I'm using are in the cloud and can be accessed from a browser, I'm able to get by just fine. Major prompts for free. Yeah, FreePick is great, isn't it? I really like FreePick also. It's great for a lot of different things. Sweet, look how dope that looks. Let's go ahead and animate that. So let's come back to Grok. Grok. Let's upload our new 9x16, plop that in. And we are gonna give it a prompt for this. We're gonna say, constantly shifting and rotating fractals actively consume and agitate a cosmic chicken in the ether. Hells yeah, brother. Let's run that, see what we get. I stepped away. Did you answer the question? I did, yes. I've been streaming for like 50 minutes at this point, but you haven't missed a whole lot, Nature. We're kind of just messing around. I've mostly been messing with OBS, trying to get the stream to function correctly. But yeah, we've kind of just been making weird stuff like interdimensional fractal chickens like this one and stuff like that. But at the moment we're, ooh, that's cool. That's sick. Look at that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna upscale that. And our thing is frozen yet again. Restart capture. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Look at that. It's showing OBS. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me hide OBS. Hide OBS. Okay. Transform. Dope. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to download this. This is really cool, by the way. I like what it's done here. It's fascinating. And let's see where we're at with RunPod. Has it fully deployed yet? No, it is not. Sweet chicken, indeed. Yeah, look at that. But this is the one I'm really excited about. I just love... Actually, how is about we take the image that we just got, this one right here, and how about we try and run it through here, eh? So let's see what this ends up giving us. Okay, let's combine these. And guys, if you are so inclined, I would really appreciate it if you'd check me out on YouTube and Twitch especially. I'm trying to actively grow my Twitch presence and stream over there. We are currently streaming there at the same time as here, so if you want like a bigger format to watch this on, like your TV or whatever, that would be the place to do it. Otherwise, I'm happy to have you here on Instagram as well, but just thought I'd put that out there. All right, so these are currently in rotation. Let's move these over a bit so we can see everything. Dope. Ah, man. Okay, how's RunPod doing? Good. We're almost done building our RunPod. It's kind of a two-step sort of process. I don't know how well you can see it on stream, but basically, as you're deploying a new RunPod, it's like a two-step process. It starts by like, I would assume building out the entire like the initial computer itself, and then when that completes, it starts building like, You know what? I don't even think I'm explaining this correctly. It basically starts with like a system log and then like a container log. I think the container is what it eventually builds to actually, like that houses the OS or the comfy instance. I feel so out of my element even trying to describe this, but this is the process. This is what I've kind of like observed as I've gotten into RunPod. Is this is like the initial setup, startup process. And although it looks and sounds technical, it's really not, because you don't have to. I'm not actually doing any of this. This is just coming from the template that I chose. So all you really need to do is choose the Comfy UI template, click deploy, and this is just kind of like what it's doing up until it's finally ready to be launched, if that makes any sense at all. Hydration, whoop whoop, indeed. Okay, so this is almost done. Almost at a good spot there. Let's see what we have here. Oh wow, that's trippy as hell. Look how weird that looks. I love it. Shoot. Oh shoot, guys. I just remembered I have an appointment that I have to get to. Oh shoot. I gotta head out. Sorry, guys. I'll catch you later, though. Sorry to cut it off so soon. I just realized I gotta head out. But thank you for being here. Love you all very much, and I'll catch you later. Peace.